Yeah, everybody. Okay, for the first time ever, first in Asia, Singapore will be holding our first international invitational walking football games 2023. Okay, it's going to be held in Singapore, okay, in Tua Payoh Stadium this Sunday of 19th of March 2023 between the hours of 2 to 7 p.m. So who's going to be there? We're going to see the likes of, okay, the team, okay, England. Yay! We're going to see Indonesia, yay! We're gonna see Singapore, yay! And we're gonna see Malaysia. There you go. You see, so you know, right? With the three teams, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, it's gonna be really exciting because this race will gonna be really competitive. Now, add England to it. It's an event you don't want to miss, guys. Okay, and of course, again on that very day, for the first time ever, we're gonna have a rock concert. Okay, with Moliano in rock. All right, everybody. Okay, so don't be square, be there. Okay, remember everybody, Walking Football TV coming to you with Dr. Didi Mamo, your host. Okay, on Fridays at 8 p.m. Singapore time. Okay, so you can actually watch it delayed as well. Okay, so this show is actually for every walking footballers of the world, and for those of you who has not even tried walking football, you are going to be converted. Okay, I'll see you there, and then don't forget, after this you will see the interviews. Okay, I'm interviewing many people, okay, very exciting, about walking football, okay, happenings in the world. All right, we have Mr. Satyandi Supaat, Member of Parliament and Advisor for Tua Payoh Bishan GROs. Welcome to the show, Mr. Satyandi.
Hi, afternoon or morning, Dr. Didi.
Yes, that's a good one when you say afternoon or morning, because we are being watched by all over the world. Okay, people who has played walking footballers all over the world, or even people who was very curious about what is walking football. And you know, everyone, that Mr. Satyandi, okay, has played walking football on many occasions with us. Okay, all right, he has been a very strong supporter of walking football. Okay, and in the significant growth of walking football for our communities in Singapore is a great motivator. So, okay, coming from a personal perspective, okay, Mr. Satyandi, how do you feel playing walking football?
Wow, I think it's a good exercise. It's not really like walking leisurely. It is a good exercise. But one thing that I like about it is that you can actually play in a team with people from a wide range of ages. So it can be someone who's young, 10 years old or 8 years old even. But you can actually even have someone who's above 60 or 70 who can still, as long as you can walk, I think you can play the game. It's a matter of
Yes.
whether you can pace yourself or just walk as per normal, but it's enjoyable because it's a team sport.
Oh, yes, I think it's about the families coming together in social bonding
Yes,
with the communities, isn't it?
indeed.
Yes, and then the thing is that when you mentioned, okay, as young as even 8 years old, and then we in our teams we have even as old, or rather young at heart, even up to 80 years old. Isn't it amazing that we all
Yes,
can come together, right?
yes,
So it's inclusive, right? It's inclusive. Everybody can
yes.
play.
And the fact is that it's like normal futsal or soccer or football.
Mm-hmm.
All of us know the rules of football, which is quite easy. So there's
Mm-hmm.
no new complexities. You know, the rules are not complex as a totally new game. Uh,
Yes.
the only thing is that you can't run.
Do you find it easy or hard not to run?
It's hard because you're so used to playing football, running. So when you sort of restrict yourself not to run, it gets a bit of getting used to, but nonetheless it's still an interesting sort of sport or health exercise.
Yes. When you said you restrict yourself from running and all that, is again is taking into consideration, building of character, isn't it? Like, holding yourself back, like
Indeed,
following the
indeed,
rules and all that, right?
very good.
It's also
Indeed,
character building, right?
indeed, yeah.
Yeah. And
And
then the
teamwork,
thing is,
teamwork.
yes, teamwork, right? What do you think? I mean, in your thoughts about walking football and teamwork, how can it benefit our community, at large?
I think it is like I mentioned, one thing is that it's a team sports. So you can actually have a good mix of people of all ages, of all races, of various religions playing in a team. So whenever you have team sports, there's always the opportunity for people to mingle and interact with each other. So at the community level, exercises or sports like walking football is a perfect example of how we can actually have intergenerational sort of interaction within the game itself. So I totally support this, and it's not a sport where it is exclusive or for exclusively for very fit individuals where who can run 2.4 in under 9 minutes. So walking, as long as you can walk, and as long as you can interact and know how to kick the ball, I think you can enjoy this game, or you can actually maximize your health benefits from these sports as well.
Well said, actually. Wow, well said, really. Okay, and then another thing, of course, the sport is relatively very safe because there's no contact, no tackling, no chesting,
Mm.
and the ball basically is at, waist level, right? Yeah, so it is a very safe sport. It is, interactional, and then as you mentioned just now, multi generational actually also. And
Yes,
then I
yes,
think we also need to highlight. I think we are the first in Singapore to launch our multi generation walking football in 2019, isn't it, Mr.
yes.
Satyandi at Toa Payoh
Yeah,
Stadium
so
with Toa Payoh
I
East?
really am grateful that walking football, the WAFA and the walking football team launched it in Toa Payoh, and give this opportunity to Toa Payoh residents to and our sports committees to actually get an opportunity to be involved in to play walking football in various platforms at the Toa Payoh Stadium, and also we played in the covered plaza, which is not a sports field, but it actually allows the game to be played in that sort of setting as well.
Yes. So that means, in other words, right, what we are trying to tell everyone is that walking football can be played anywhere on whatever surfaces it is, isn't it? We played on the field, we played on AstroTurf, we played on, the ground.
Cement, yeah, on
Yeah,
concrete.
yeah, on
Uh,
concrete.
you know,
Yes. And again, it's walking, right?
yes,
If you can walk, you can play walking football. That's Mr. Satyandi's word, everybody. All right. So I'm going to steal your words, okay? And then use it as our tagline as well. Is that
yeah,
okay?
yeah, I'm fine. As long as you can walk, you can walk, you can play walking football.
Yes, very true. So what is your, what is your comment about okay, our vision moving forward?
I think, yeah. So the vision for I hope for walking football will be able to uh, expand and get more involvement of Singaporeans and globally at large to grow this sport, because walking is known to have many health benefits, and I think having this sport at the same time for soccer lovers, football lovers, to actually have this game so that it can be sustained for longer periods. So the main thing is I hope we can sustain walking football, the interest to be played across all ages, and a sport that can be played from young to from cradle to grave in some ways, is
Yes.
actually something that we should support, because it allows for a lengthy exercise, sort of a sustainability of the exercise or sustainability of the action or activity going forward, and
Yes,
especially
that's
so in Singapore because we are an aging society.
football. We will all know who you are. So perhaps you can, okay, tell us a little bit of how it all started. All right,
Yeah.
and then after that we'll find out, like, what you're doing basically. Who is John Crude? Yeah. Okay. First of all, tell us a little bit of how walking football.
Okay. How the journey began. Yeah. Well, it was around, I would think, around 2008, 2009. I was a director at Chesterfield Football Club at that point, but my day job, if you like, was looking after and CEO of the Chesterfield Football Club Community Trust. And for any viewers and listeners that you've got that aren't quite sure what a community trust is, it's something that every club in England has. It's a charity that's linked to the club, and it effectively uses the club badge to engage with its supporters for good reasons, really, for social outcomes, for health and well-being. And the English Football League, in partnership with, I think it was a charity called Sport Relief or Comic Relief, they started a project of which community trusts, which are registered charities in England in the main, could apply for funding of £20,000 to work with over 50-year-olds. and I applied for it. There were 35 lots, so there were 35 opportunities for each English Football League club to apply for one of those opportunities. I did and was successful. So then we had to build a project to work with over 50-year-olds, and it could be from 50-year-old up to whatever age anybody wants to play or wants to be involved. And it was about activity. And when we were successful, one of the first things that we got invited to was really, I think it was the Football Foundation as well that were involved over here. They had a presentation day where they invited all the football club community trusts that had been successful and basically told us what we had to do for the money, what we had to do. And it could have been anything from playing cards, playing chess. It was about fighting loneliness. It was about helping people get active. Didn't necessarily have to be football. Could be anything at all. It could be singing. I know there were some of the parts of the project still go on as well as walking football here. For instance, we have a chair-based exercise class, which started as part of that project. And as we were being told about what we had to do, we'd got quite big targets to hit for social engagement. And it was actually held at Manchester United's former training ground at the Cliff in Salford. So,
Wow.
so there's a Manchester United involvement as well in there as well, which no doubt is a club that's well known across your part of the world. And on the way back from Manchester, I was thinking, well, what can we do and how can we utilise this fund and get the best outcomes? And I kept coming back to football, really, and I kept thinking, well, football is what we're about as a community trust linked to a football club. So I thought, okay, how can I make football accessible to that age profile? And I thought, well, some really older ones might struggle to run. So, okay, well, what about if we do walking? We don't run. And then I sort of took out headers and slide tackles. And we went on to, when I came back, I spoke to the coaches here and I told them, and I said, look, I've had this idea, walking football. And, people laughed. The coaches laughed and thought, well, what's that? And I said, well, it can be what we want to make it, really. I told them the idea I'd got. We went on Google, went everywhere, contacted other football clubs, community trusts, and nobody had done walking football. No, it wasn't on Google. It wasn't anywhere. And so we thought, well, we'll try it. So we put a session on at a local leisure centre of walking football. We came up with the rules. We got qualified coaches to deliver it. And the first session, we had loads of guys come along that wanted to play it. And so we put a session on again the following week. And the guys just loved it. And we knew then at that point that we'd sort of got something special.
Okay, according to the Indonesian regulation, so I'm before that because I travel and then I saw it in England and also meet with Didi and then also others. So I decided to develop so-called persejasi. According to the Indonesian law, so we have to put perkumpulan. It looks like association in English. So perkumpulan sepak bola meaning football. And especially berjalan meaning looks like walking, right? So because of Indonesian, we have to put in our language. So become perkumpulan sepak bola berjalan seluruh Indonesia. This is association of walking football throughout Indonesia with 34 provinces. And now we already have 18 provinces. More than half.
Fantastic. That's a fantastic work actually within a short time, I think. All right. Because I remembered, okay, then I remember, okay, for the benefit of the audience as well, okay, Walking Football for Health, okay, myself, okay, Walking Football for Health Asia, okay, we have gone to Indonesia, right, with
Yeah,
Hendra, to meet Hendra and his teams and all that, and we have actually signed an MOU with Walking
yeah,
Football
right.
for Health Asia, and then now he's
Yes,
holding the Walking Football for Health Indonesia. So, Hendra, I
sure.
think I'm very impressed with the within a short time you have actually made 18 provinces over in Indonesia play walking football. That's a big feat, actually. That's a very,
Yes, it is.
yes, fantastic. What are your challenges in trying to make people, play this sport?
Okay, we have of course two strategy in on grabbing them. First, because as you know, working football before Wafa itself, so I grab the elderly people, meaning over 50, right? Especially for legend. Legend meaning every provinces has legend.
Mm.
So we approach of them, and we approach also for sport, the ministry or provinces. We talk with very important guys, you know. So
Yes.
we are introducing them, and they are mostly interested on that. And after that, they are develop organization, and of course we are give them permission to develop their own provinces, persejasi provinces. I mean. And I think so far it is okay, but because of the 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 location itself is far from Jakarta,
Mm.
so we do Zoom meeting, we develop videoing, you know, just to show
Mm.
them how to play and
Right.
understanding by rule of the game, and of course rule of the game itself always always updated. So we call you and you help us, and we are appreciative about this. And every updated, we send it to all the province, and every month we have meeting with the provinces and to keep maintaining them. The good things to do from us, 18 province. The province itself it consists of so-called kabupaten in our language, kota meaning city. On every provinces, they have 5 to 7 cities,
Mm.
including the district, Kabupaten Sopol, is already established. For example, provinces of Banten, in really close with Jakarta, right? They
Right.
already have 7 districts
Wow. Wow.
and 2 cities, something like that. So
So
this is the
basically, so
mm,
basically, what you do is that you times the 18 times 5 or 7. Basically, those
yeah,
are the places. You basically end up with more numbers of places playing walking football.
surely. If we can
Wow.
count, for example,
Mhm,
18 provinces multiplied
mhm,
by every 5,
mhm.
so we already have 90, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
90 places or cities who play
Right.
walking football,
Oh,
including the
that's
Wafa. Right?
that's awesome. You're doing wonderful
Yeah,
job. You're doing wonderful job
yeah,
there. And then you were saying about, having the legends and all that. And I think this weekend, right, you're gonna be in Singapore. Okay, and then there's
yes,
going to be legend. Okay, we actually played with them, Walking Football for Health. All right, from Singapore team actually went to Indonesia, right? We
yeah,
played on World Cup Day actually. All right,
yeah,
in
yeah,
December, right? And then we played
yeah,
against you guys and all that. And then again, I think Nasir Salasa is one of the legend, right? That's very very
yeah,
popular
yeah.
in Indonesia, isn't it?
Yeah, Selassie, one of the national team before
Yes.
to become part of the legend. Many legend, of course. But
Right.
for next visit, I mean for Singapore,
Mhm.
I think we collected legend from very important provinces. Don't worry.
Wow. Wow. You see, so everyone, if you want to see all these legends and all that, all right, go head down to Tuapai Stadium this weekend. All right, 17th
Yes,
of 19th of March. All right, at Tuapai Stadium, 2 to 7 p.m. And I think again, you have all these people, they are legends and all that. They're playing walking football. What about those people who has not played walking football at all? What would you tell them? Would you encourage them to join in walking football and why?
yeah, of course. We have something so-called socialization day, right? and every provinces, including the cities. I asked them uh, to play regularly. For example, in Makassar is 2 hours flight or 2 hours and flight from Jakarta. They are implementing so-called every Friday they play soccer.
Mm.
I mean the walking football, and they play. It's not only for elderly people, but always uh, the family. I mean the wife and also the son. To try to implementing the Wi-Fi itself, right? So combining with them,
That's
and
awesome.
yes, and also in Instagram we put and every provinces they have their own Instagram. They have a special program. So I let them, But what I what I tell them is, please play at least every Friday. It's become Friday night. It's become our
Walking football
important days.
night.
Yeah,
It's walking football night
walking
for
football
everyone.
night.
Okay, good. Rachel, sports is in you. All right. I remember we met at FEM, Football Association of Malaysia, right? When we are invited to do walking football over there, and then we strike up a friendship basically until today. So proud and very blessed to be your friend. Rachel is a good friend indeed. Okay, and I'm very very pleased that we are actually doing walking football in our respective countries. All right. So tell us a little bit about your what you're doing with Negeri Sembilan Walking Football Club. Tell us.
Oh, okay. We started immediately when I came back. We started this club, and I had very good response from ladies, actually housewives and retired people. And I decided to register the club. Okay, get it officially registered, and then we started it. And then we started going for tournaments. That's when we came to Perth. We've played our first carnival with. Singapore came down, but we under last Sajam. That was in March 2019. Then we had a carnival, first carnival, July 2019, the same year. Then, of course, we were invited to go and do the referee course in Singapore. That was in December 3rd, I think. After which we went immediately to Perth to take part in a tournament. And then we came back in 2020. We had invitation to a school where we played futsal. At the same time, we had a penalty shootouts. So actually, I would like my players to get involved in all this so that they will have the experience. And I also noticed that they look forward to the next training session. That means they are really interested. They are enjoying the game.
Yes,
And
you are
finally,
amazing.
so they come for this and they're enjoying. My only hope is that others would also follow and have set up this in their own respective states, so that this will become an annual affair among the states.
And again, walking football for health in Singapore. That's the walking football. We are in Singapore. We're the first one to start walking football. So walking football for health in Singapore has seen many ladies, children, elderlies, even those who's fit, who wants to play walking football with their family, because again, if you do the running football, but you want to spend time with your daughter or your sons or your granny and all that, you can all play in one pitch together. That's what we actually in Singapore, that's what we are doing and all that. So really, from what you say, right, that's one of the way I'm trying to make walking football more sexy and fashionable in that sense.
Yeah, because
do you think it's working?
Crosses generations, doesn't it? And
yes,
just because you're younger doesn't mean you're necessarily any better.
Yes, very true, very true. So you know now when I post with a ball and in my walking football gear and all that, do give it good likes, okay? And Stuart, please comment on it.
Yeah. And I know that you're very good at all your poses with the football, DD.
You see,
It's also worth saying as well, when you took us to Malaysia,
Yeah.
We were coaching doctors because they
Yes.
were aware of the childhood obesity issue,
Yes.
and they wanted to
Yes.
get walking football into schools. So
Yes.
if we can get younger people playing walking football, the beauty of the game is you don't need a big pitch. You just need
Yes.
an area with some small goals. It could be jumpers for goalposts,
Yes.
and anyone can play walking football anywhere. It's just,
Yes.
it's such a flexible and inclusive game. Anyone can play it anywhere, and that's
Yes.
what's so good about it. We
Yes.
have in our country now in England, there is a concern about primary schools, so 8, 9, 10-year-olds not getting enough exercise, and we are going to talk to the relevant people to say, try walking football. It's good for you.
Yes. Yes, very true. And I'm bringing you guys all over the world, okay? All over the world to spread this lovely sport, this well-loved sports. Basically, everyone who has played walking football will not look back. Really.
Absolutely. That's what we
Yeah.
say to people: give it a go. Don't knock it until you've tried it, because once people try it, they'll get the bug.
Yes, that's true. What's your vision for walking football in years to come?
Um, we would just love to make it a completely unique sport. I mean, we keep saying the name is walking football, but it's very, very different from football as people know it. And it would be lovely if we could get the sport recognised as a unique sport, if we could get it governed properly across the world, because one of the problems with the sport is that some people think that there's money to be made from it,
Mm-hmm.
and there are people out there trying to make money from our generation who've worked hard all their lives.
Yeah.
So I would love to see the sport in the Olympics and things like that. That's what I would love to see, is more and more people playing it, because it's a unique and technical sport which is great fun. And
Yes.
wouldn't it be great if it became an Olympic sport at some point?
Oh,
It'd be
yes.
fantastic.
We are working hard at that, isn't it, Stuart?
Absolutely,
Yes, we
absolutely.
are definitely going to work hard on that one, and then make it happen. Again, okay, in a nutshell, okay, what for people who has not played walking football, it's so funny. The first time I told everyone, okay, come and play walking football, the first thing they asked me, is it you walking with the ball? Is it like you just hold the ball and you walk? So tell us about it. Tell us about it. What is walking football?
Okay, so it's six-a-side, so it's a small-sided game on a small pitch. It's the rules are all about safety, so it's very good for the older generation and for people with health conditions. You can't tackle from behind, so it's a non-contact sport, so it's safe. Um, you can't run, which is the most difficult rule to interpret and the most difficult rule to enforce. But what that means is that you get a very technical game where you have to pass the ball to people.
Mm.
So when you're coaching people, it's all about their first touch and their ability to pass the ball to people. And
Mm.
yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it is. There's a goalkeeper's area that no one's allowed in, so it's safe for the goalkeeper as well. And what it's doing is it's just giving people a new lease of life, who've maybe
Yes.
played the game in the past, who can now carry on playing a game that they've loved all their lives.
Yes, and I think, I
Yeah.
just interviewed our member of parliament, Mr. Satyandi Supaat, just a while ago, and he said, "Yeah, everybody, we are going to go down. If anyone can walk, we can play walking football." That's what he said. So I said, "Yeah, that's a very good tagline, anyway, right? That's a
Yeah,
very,
that's
very good
great.
tagline."
I think
Yeah.
that I was told there's around 100,000 people playing it now in England alone.
Yes, yes, and to think that John, when I first started it in 2016, I brought it to many countries. Basically, I think
Yeah.
we brought it to Singapore. I mean, apart from Singapore, setting up here, we have set it up in Malaysia, and then in Indonesia as well as playing, and then we have also done the games in Australia and all that. So again, along the way and all that, we have also I've conducted researchers, on scientific researchers on walking football and all that, with the help of my colleagues and all that as well. So I think we are growing. We are a power to reckon, right?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
so, and I think, what do you think? I mean, moving forward, I mean, you've seen the past of walking football, and right now my question is, what do you see the future of walking football?
I think that it will only continue to grow. I think that it'll become more established. 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 become more established And it would be great to see it also link up more with doing other sports as well. Like I mentioned, walking netball now is played in England, and other sports. I think it'll move more down the health side of it as well. I think that's important. Maybe things like diet sheets being produced for players, that sort of thing, really, and for
Yes.
each football associations to work with their own respective health organisations in their country. And really, as long as it's used as a vehicle for good, then I'm happy, really.
Yes, and John Crute, you have started a good with walking football until today. How many years has it been? Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's I think it was about 2009, 2010
Hmm.
when we put the first formalised session on. So it's what,
Right.
13, 14 years.
Wow, that's many years really. And again, myself from Walking Football for Health, I think we are also looking forward to working with you, okay, and everyone in the world, to bring walking football to a new global level, basically.
Yeah.
So that we hope that you and I think we share the same hope that walking football can be played, all over the world, just like the regular soccer is being played, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And I think as life expectancy grows around the world,
Hmm.
that gives more opportunity, and people that are older that are looking for things to do, that they enjoy, that they feel comfortable doing. And as I say, it's as much about what happens off the pitch as on it, from the point of view that, as I say, guys come now to our game, they come together, they say, I wish we'd have met 30 years ago. They actually come to Chesterfield games. Some of them support other clubs, but they just come because they're with their friends. Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, I can only see it growing, really.
Right. I think that's amazing. You said, like with this sport, you can actually play it throughout your whole life, basically.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah. So again, if there's fun, there's fitness, there's friendship, and there's health in there as well. So.
Somebody said to me when we put one of the first sessions on,
Mhm, mhm.
this is fantastic. You get the same feeling scoring a goal at 8 years old as you do at 80 years old.
Yes. Okay, finally, okay. For everyone who's going to the 19th of March, the first in Asia, the International Invitational Walking Football Games 2023 at Tuapai Stadium, 2 to 7 p.m. in Singapore. Okay, what would you say? What would you say to them?
I would say, come along, you'll absolutely love it. And the most important thing is make sure everyone enjoys it.
Yes. And last but not least, to the walking footballers of the world, what does John Crute tell them?
I would say to them, keep enjoying the sport, keep scoring plenty of goals, and we'll have more and more tournaments to give them the opportunity to meet. But main thing, keep enjoying playing it and keep enjoying the camaraderie and friendship on and off the pitch.
Yes, beautiful. And okay, John Crute, the man of walking football, and Dr. Didi Mahmood. Okay, Dr. Didi Mahmood. I love collaborations the world over and all that. So everyone, you want a collaboration? We want to grow this sport together. All of us, hand in hand. No, 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 no. Walk and walk. Okay, we walk the walking football talk. Okay, everybody. All right, that's me. Okay, and John Crute signing off. Everybody. All right, on Walking Football TV. All right. See you on Sundays. Walking football time.